All right, so if you have been trying to get the word out about your church, you're trying to attract new visitors and new families, but you still feel like you are the best kept secret in town, well, you're in the right place, because in this video, we're gonna be specifically talking about some ways that you can use ministry instead of marketing in order to attract new visitors and grow your church. So let's break down 10 outreach ideas for church growth coming up. Hey, what's up? Welcome back, y'all. My name is Chris Abbott, but all my friends just call me Abbo. And on this channel, we focus on sharing practical tips and strategies that you can use in order to get the word out and grow your church. So in this video, what we want to do is we want to break down some different strategies that you can use that are more along the lines of ministry rather than marketing. And make sure you stick around to the end, because the last strategy that I'm going to share with you actually sends about 6,000 to 8,000 additional people to my church website for free every single month. So let's dive in. All right, number one is fill the fridge. Now, this is a great way to create some relationship equity inside of your community. And again, it's not marketing, this is ministry. So all you want to do is contact your local elementary school and possibly even the middle school and the high school. And you just want to contact the principal and you want to say, hey, my name's Pastor Chris. I just want to show your teachers how much we appreciate them. I know they're working really hard. Things have been crazy with COVID and, navigating the kind of national landscape of education right now. So what we'd love to do is just to say thank you. We'd love to come in once a month and just fill the fridge in the teacher's lounge, right? So there is not a principal in the world who's going to say no to that, right? A bunch of free drinks and free snacks for their teachers. Of course, they're going to say yes, right? So all you want to do is once a month, you go out there, make sure to get the good stuff, right? Get like the Starbucks Frappuccino drinks and, Coke and Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew and whatever it is the teachers like, but make sure to stock the fridge with a bunch of great drinks and then maybe even grab a couple of snacks, right? So maybe you grab like some Little Debbie snack cakes, or you bring a couple dozen donuts, or you have someone from the church bake some cookies, right? It's just great to have a couple of snacks, fill the fridge with a bunch of great drinks, and then just make sure to leave a note every single time you do this, right? You just want them to know how much you appreciate them, and you want them to know that it was you that actually filled the fridge, right? So you might just do something like put a note on there that says, hey, we filled the fridge. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Here is just a small token of our appreciation. Please let us know if there's anything we can do for you. Love, your friends at Faith Church. This is just a great way to thank them and to kind of create some goodwill inside of your community, starting with your local elementary school. So make sure that you don't tell anybody that you're doing this, right? You can tell your church, but don't go bragging about it around town, right? You won't have to. As soon as you start doing this, the teachers are going to talk to other teachers. They're going to start telling some of their parents are going to tell friends, and the word's going to get out about the community of how awesome you guys are over at your church. So just kind of keep this on the DL. Make sure to be consistent and do it every single month, and word is going to get out, and you're going to build a ton of relationship equity with people all over the community. Now, here's a pro tip. If you want to go above and beyond, you can even go in once a month and you can order pizza, or you can order a bunch of burgers or tacos or something like that for everybody. But then you can also go in and just kind of drop personalized notes of encouragement and appreciation to all of the teachers there. So maybe one month you write personalized notes to all of the kindergarten teachers, and then the next month it's all the first grade, and the next month it's all of the second grade, right? But this takes a little bit more time, but I promise it's worth it, right? Creating a handwritten note personalized for every single one of the teachers is a great way to just kind of further that relationship. And again, just show people that you actually care. Okay, and number two is create a local podcast or YouTube channel. This one is really simple. All you want to do is you want to help establish yourself as one of the leaders in the community. And so creating a weekly show on either a podcast or YouTube channel is a great way for you to kind of get your name out in the community, but even more importantly, to showcase some of the other business leaders and city officials inside of your community. So what I recommend is just picking a different business or business leader in the community every single week and interview them. And I can tell you from experiences after launching this YouTube channel that the single best way to do that is by batching. So you could just go in and maybe on the first of every month, you line up 4 interviews, you do them all in one day, back to back to back to back. And now you have all 4 episodes, so you can actually go in and just schedule them out every single month, right? That way you're not having to create a new video every single week. You can literally just do batching, where you could do 4, 8, or even 12 interviews all at once. And now you've got a month, 2 months, or even 3 months of content that you can schedule out. This is the easiest way to do it. But again, you're going to establish yourself as a leader in the community and a voice in the community, because all you're doing is interviewing local community leaders and business owners and city officials, and you're going to serve the community really, really well. All right, number 3, host a community bonfire. right? So this is a lot of fun. Everybody loves s'mores and bonfires and those types of things, right? Depending on the part of the country that you live in, right? You might want to do this in like October, November, depending on the weather. But this is a great thing, especially, man, when the fall comes and there's hay rides and, you've got pumpkins and people are getting ready for trick-or-treating or trunk or treat or whatever it is, right? It's a great time to have a community bonfire and just invite everybody out. And if one of the things that you could even do is you might even create a couple of awards that you're going to give out, right? And then offer those maybe to some local teachers or some local first responders like police officers, ambulance drivers, EMTs, firefighters, maybe some local city officials, some local entrepreneurs and business owners. Now you're going to ensure that they show up, and if they're getting an award, they're probably going to invite their friends, right? You just put out the word to every single person in town and invite them out to a local bonfire. Maybe you hire a local band to come in and play. Maybe you have a local DJ play some music, right? But this is always just a great time to have a bonfire. And listen, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm a huge fan of hay rides. So a great pro tip is to have hay rides and maybe some fun fall, autumn activities for the kids to do. People are gonna have a blast and they have you to thank for it. All right, number 4, host a Brainwashed event. Now, when I was a youth pastor, I used to do a sermon series every single year called Brainwashed. Does God really exist, or are we all just brainwashed? And this was by far the most popular sermon series that we did every single year. We would do it for 6 weeks, and every week we would answer a different question about God. Like, why do bad things happen to good people? How could a good God allow suffering? How can a loving God send people to hell? Is Christianity just a straitjacket? Has science disproven Christianity? All of these questions are the types of questions that keep people up at night, and they're the questions that people are actually asking. So providing a safe environment for them to explore these questions is really, really powerful, right? One of the best ways that you can do this is just have a brainwash night that you host at your church and invite people to come out and just tell them some of the questions that you'll be answering. Then you could use something like The Reason for God by Timothy Keller, which is a phenomenal book and is the exact book that I used to use for planning my series every single year. And you can kind of put together some really, really good answers to these questions, and then you can pose them and actually talk about them and even have maybe a Q&A or a discussion time at the end if you feel comfortable doing something like that, right? I'm telling you, by creating a conversation, right, not just a monologue, but actually having a dialogue and creating a conversation with people inside of the community, this is a great way to actually reach out and reach people that normally may not ever set foot inside of a church. But it also shows people that you're open-minded and that you're willing to talk about the gospel and have these types of conversations about tough questions that people are actually asking. Here's a caveat. If for some reason you don't feel comfortable covering some of those topics, you can always reach out to a local apologist, right? Or maybe a speaker who travels around talking about things like this, and you could invite them to come out and do the night themselves, and you could just play host. Another great way to still get the benefit of doing a brainwash night, but not having to prepare and do all of those questions yourself if that makes you a little bit uncomfortable. So host a brainwash night, let everybody in your community know about it, and you'll be shocked at just how many people actually show up. All right, number 5, movies on the lawn. Now, churches have been doing this for a long time, but sometimes this is something we may have done back in the day or something like we did when we were growing up in church but totally forgot about, but it's still really, really relevant and really effective. So all you do is, especially during the summer, you just have people come out and you're gonna show a movie on the lawn of the church, right? Now, if you don't have a great lawn, right, you might just have them set up in your parking lot, right? And then you can rent a giant screen, or you can make your own with a giant bed sheet, or you might even be able to just project the movie straight onto the side of your church. But this is a great way to just pick a good Disney movie, family movie, Pixar movie, something like that, and have everyone come out, watch a movie, have fun with their family. And another little pro tip is you can have your youth group selling concessions to raise money for missions trips or for the youth group or for summer camp. And it's a great way to provide a bunch of candy, popcorn, cotton candy, and also raise money for youth. So do a movie on the lawn, and I'm telling you, this is a super easy event to do, but it goes a great way in creating that relationship equity with everyone in the community, and then it's an easy way to invite them to church on Sunday. All right, so before I get to my last 5 ideas, I want to hear from you guys, right? What is it that I have forgotten? What did I leave off this list? What are some ideas that you guys have done or you think that churches should do that are not in this video? I want to hear from you. Post it in the comments below. I promise to read every single one and answer any questions you might have. All right, number 6 is to host a business leadership event. This one's really cool because what you can do is actually invite some local entrepreneurs or some local business leaders, right? Maybe it's a CEO or a business owner from around the church, and actually have them come out and maybe teach a leadership night or like a business 101, right? Or a marketing 101. But this is a great way to kind of establish yourself as a leader in the community, but you don't really have to do anything except host it, right? You're not going to be doing the speaking. You're not required to do any study or anything like that for the content. You're just having somebody who's already an expert in something come out and present about it. And then you're just going to fill the room by opening it up to all the other local businesses in town and say, hey, if you want to hear from so-and-so who owns all the Chick-fil-A's in town, he's actually going to be speaking Friday night at our business leadership event, and he's going to be telling you how to use the Chick-fil-A principles at your church, reach more people, and have better customer service. Tons of people are going to show up for that. So make sure to just find somebody local who owns one of the businesses or is like a C-level executive at one of the companies and have them come out and do a free workshop or free business leader event at your church. And all you have to do is host it. Okay, so number 7 is to do a marriage workshop. Now, what you want to do is you want to pick a theme like I want a new marriage or relationship rehab, right? Something like that. And then invite everyone in the community to come out and participate in the marriage workshop or marriage conference, right? A great idea to do is to run this on a Saturday and then launch a brand new marriage sermon series on Sunday, right? So it's a very easy ask and a natural bridge to put on the workshop on Saturday and then invite them out on Sunday to a marriage series of either the same name or a similar name that connects to the name of the workshop that you just put on. All right, number 8 is a kids treasure hunt. Now, all you have to do for this, you can actually put this on. It doesn't cost a lot of money. All you have to do is put together a treasure hunt. You can do it outside on your church grounds, or you could do it inside throughout your entire church. But all you have to do is print up a bunch of treasure maps for kids, make it pretty simple, and just have a bunch of places they have to wander around. Maybe you're giving clues, or maybe you're just giving a map where they have to go find different places. And then at each one of the stops, they either have to take something from there in order to collect all of the different treasures, or maybe they just have to write down the answer to a question there, which eventually leads to an answer once they have collected all of the different answers from every single one of the treasure stops, right? Pretty easy. You can even Google or look on Pinterest, and there's plenty of ideas for this. But just think about how much fun families are going to have from your community if they bring their kids out to a local treasure hunt. Kids are going to love it, the parents are going to love it, and they're going to have you to thank for it. All right, number 9 is Instagram posts, right? Instagram is growing like crazy. It's a great way to reach people in the 18 to 35 demographic. You can use Instagram posts to do things like, how can I pray for you? Or 5 steps to discover your purpose, to maybe give out marriage tips or parenting tips, right? But you're actually putting out practical things that people can actually use in their day-to-day life. And then one of the great things about Instagram is you can use local hashtags to then put those posts in front of people, right? So if you just post on Instagram, it's only going to show it to the people that follow you. But if you use hashtags, then it's basically going to take that and it's going to post that at all of those different hashtags. So go find some of the local businesses from your city on Instagram and see what local hashtags they're using. So for example, in Tulsa, people will put hashtag Tulsa, hashtag T-Town, hashtag T-Town photographers, right? Different hashtags like that. And you can just use a lot of those local hashtags, and anyone who follows those will automatically see your posts. So it's a great way to get in front of a ton more people absolutely free. And again, it's because you're giving fun, practical value to people that are looking for it. And finally, number 10, one of my absolute favorites. I promise to show you exactly how my church is getting 6,000 to 8,000 new visitors every single month. And that is with something called the Google Grant. Now, if you've never heard of this, this is actually a program that Google has for churches and nonprofits where you can get $10,000 a month in free Google AdWords, and it doesn't cost your church a thing. It's literally as good as it sounds. I know people say, hey, what's the catch? What is it? There is no catch, right? It's a tax write-off for them. So this works. And as long as you have a 501c3, then you can actually apply for this. And if you get it, it's a lifetime grant, meaning you'll have it forever. So what you can do is once you actually do this, you literally have $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year, and you can put together some simple Google AdWords campaigns, and you can use Google's money to tell people about the gospel and invite people to your church. So I actually set this up for my church years ago, and literally every single month we have an additional 6,000 to 8,000 people who find us on Google and then go to our website to learn more about our church. And it doesn't cost us a dime. We're literally using Google's money to tell people about the gospel and invite people to church. And between 6,000 and 8,000 per month come to our church website every single month. All right, so if you want to learn more about the Google Grant and you want to actually see if your church is eligible, we actually put together a free Google Grant eligibility checker. All you have to do is click on the links in the description below, and you can actually just fill out a couple of questions. It takes about 60 seconds, and you can find out if your church is eligible to get $10,000 a month and free Google money. We'll see you soon.